Okay, good evening, class, once more. Tonight we continue from where we stopped last night. Yeah, we've been looking at the soft skills are required for a good project manager. So we're following it up. So we'll try as much as we can to finish it up tonight. So without wasting time, I will pull the slide for the lesson and we start from where we stopped. Okay. Last night we stopped at time management. We finished time management or teamwork. Sorry, teamwork. We've done time management. We finished teamwork. That's where we stopped. And tonight we're going to start from emotional intelligence. This emotional intelligence is very important, a very key skill. We need to pay attention to this because it says a lot about you as a project manager. So emotional intelligence is the ability to understand and manage emotions, both your own emotion and emotion of others, to build positive relationship, navigate social interaction, and manage conflict effectively. Project managers with high emotional intelligence can inspire trust, foster collaboration, and lead team to success. And it's very, very important. If you are a hot-tempered person, you should know your temperament. So you should try to guide yourself, guide your emotion. If you are some people are so emotional. As a project manager, you should have a boundary, even if so many having a meeting, interaction with people, you should know some key topics that are very sensitive to your team, and know how to navigate such topics. So you should be able to, it's important you learn your team members to understand them one-on-one personally and deal with them when they're having emotional challenges. You as yourself, as a project manager, you should put a gauge. Try to understand yourself. Understand, identify your own person emotionally. So let's look at some of the key aspects we will look at trying to understand ourselves and others emotionally while managing projects. The first thing, like I said, is self-awareness, recognizing and understanding your own emotion. You need to understand yourself. I've said that. You need to understand your strengths. You need to understand your weakness, your triggers, and how they impact your behavior and decision making. It's very important. So if you are in a bad mood, you try as much as you can to avoid having meetings, so you won't transfer aggression or whatever emotional, whatever is happening to you to others. It's very, very important to know your triggers. Everybody have got triggers. Everybody have got strength. Everybody have got weakness. You know your own. If you don't know it, then as a project manager, that's what we say, self-awareness. Recognize and understand it. You know, I myself here, I've got a very hard tone. And that doesn't mean I'm a very hard person or bad person, but naturally my voice is very hard. So some people will think I'm, you know, if this guy is very is a disciplinary, this, and so when I'm talking, people at times people become scared of me because of my voice. So these are some of the things I always try as much as I can to tell people that I have a hard voice when I'm, you know, so that they will know that it's not like. So these are some of the things you need to identify about yourself and talk about it and know how to manage it. So it's very, very important. And while trying to recognize your own strengths and weaknesses, try to understand other people's weaknesses. Some people find it difficult to keep secrets. In a team, while some team members might have personal challenges, they will discuss it with you. You come to the general meeting and start talking about it. That's not a good thing to do as a project manager. So you should be able to, when they say something is a secret, you keep a secret, more especially when it's something within that is not within the team directly, maybe with a team member. These are some of the things you need to try to understand. Some people find it very difficult to close their mouths. They talk too much. So if you are some of those people, you know that what you talk can affect other people negatively. You try as much as you can to control how you talk, discuss about people. Or some people, when you talk about them, they don't like it. They feel that you're gossiping with them. So these are some of the things you need to understand. If you are part of those people that cannot control your mouth, then you must find a way to manage yourself so that you don't talk about people or gossip about. This is what happens in projects that can bring disunity among the team members when they feel you are gossiping with them or they have a situation, you are using their situation to talk about anyhow. People don't like it. So you find some of those things and try as much as you can to manage situation. Self-regulation. Manage your emotion effectively. Like the first one is trying to identify or recognize it. Then the second one here is regulation, managing your emotion effectively, maintaining composure, resilience, and adaptability in challenging and stressful situations, and avoiding impulsive or reactive responses. So if you are kind of an impulsive person, or it's better you don't talk or walk away. If you have a situation like this where you know that you can't control your anger, if you find yourself in such a situation, just walk away. Give yourself a time. Give yourself a break. So, empathy. Understand and empathize with emotions, perspective, and need of other people. Like I say, when somebody having a situation confined in you, try to show empathy, show concern, you know, show respect, show love, you know, these are, show kindness is very, very important. Is something that keeps team going when they feel they belong here, they feel that they are protected here, they feel that you know, that is empathy. That there's one popular adage that injury to one is injury to many. So when someone is having a situation and they know, they feel you as a project manager, you've got their back, that will, you know, position you as a good leader before the team members because you show empathy. Some people lack this attribute. It's not common. Don't think it's common. Some people are very hard person, but that doesn't mean you should be showing weakness or allow people to take advantage of you, you know, but you find a way to show empathy. Okay, social skills. Develop strong interpersonal skills, including communication, conflict resolution, and influence to build rapport, trust, and collaboration with team members and stakeholders. It's very, very important. You must be a friendly person. Don't just be within your team members, show like the only thing that is binding you and your team members is work. Just that's why I make sure you people need to get out of the classroom and go and socialize. And you see, since after the social interaction, the team, there's a kind of flavor that is, you know, the team beginning to discover themselves in another way. People beginning to love, you know, more people beginning to take what you are doing seriously, you know. So because of the social aspect of what we are doing, we started interacting, and this is something that project team need to do more often. Have a team lunch. Once in a while, you go out with your team and catch fun. You know, these are ways of building stronger relationship, rapport. Try to understand your stakeholders better, you know, and it will make you a better project manager, knowing that creating friends from the work environment, the project environment, not just a team member, but you people become friends and things like that. Then relationship management. Build and maintain positive relationship with team members, stakeholders, and other project stakeholders. Fostering trust, loyalty, and cooperation through effective communication and collaboration. You must try as much as you can to build a good relationship, positive relationship with people you work around. Some people, they find it difficult to do that. They can't even greet people when you meet them in the morning. They wait for you to greet them first. If you are a project manager, don't wait to feel like because you are the project manager, you are the leader, everybody should greet you first. Be the first to greet. Ask them how they are doing. Build relationship, positive relationship. If you are in the office, even if you are a team member or a junior, you can make a tea or a coffee for your junior. It doesn't stop you from being a project, the project leader, that you are making coffee for your team members. It doesn't take you anything. Just when you go to the kitchen, you can ask people if you can carry 2 or 3 cups of coffee or tea. You can take it to them. Do your own, do for others. This is something you can do to build a good relationship. Yeah, so how do I apply this emotional intelligence in our projects or in our work environment? Conflict resolution. Use empathy and active listening to understand the underlying causes of conflict or disagreement among team members, facilitating a constructive dialogue and finding mutual acceptance solution. We've spoken about conflict resolution. Is reoccurring in almost every topic because it's very, very important, because conflict, you know, whether physical conflict, cold conflict, have what we call Cold War, is something that can, you know, derail the project. So when there is conflict, you must make sure that you use empathy to, you know, try to be not just a leader, but a brother or a sister, and find out a way to resolve a conflict within the team is very, very important. Don't just listen to one person, listen to everybody, give everybody a listening ear, and try to be neutral. Don't point hands. Try to look for dialogue instead of blaming. Stakeholder management. Build rapport and trust with stakeholders by understanding their need, concern, expectation, addressing them proactively and effectively. These stakeholders, they own most of them, like if they're high influential stakeholders, like the project sponsors, these are the people that owns this project. They are sponsoring this project. You must understand their need, their concern, and you must address it. Even if they are not the people that own the owner of the sponsor of the project, people working within a project, for instance, who are looking at a CRM system, want to develop a CRM or implement a CRM system for a team, maybe a marketing department or sales department. You listen to all those people working within the, if you are the business analyst or the project manager, try to listen to the people that are going to use that particular application you are trying to implement, because they wear the shoe, they know where it pinches. So try as much as you can to collect requirement from them. So that is the way you manage stakeholders. You must understand stakeholders' expectation. Not only the people that are sponsoring the project, but the end users as well. You must harmonize everybody's interests. And you need to do this with business analysts. Team motivation. Inspire and motivate team members by recognizing their contribution, providing feedback and support, and fostering a positive and inclusive team culture. Motivation is very, very good in project. Motivation can do a lot of things in project, can bring a lot of success in project. So team members can go to work in, or even on Sundays when they feel motivated, even without being paid, they can go to work on Sunday if they are being motivated. So you must find a way to motivate your team. You know, some project managers will never agree that you've done anything right. They will feel, after all, you are being paid. Yeah, you are being paid, but you still need to be recognized that you are doing something. So find a way to show appreciation. You will not take anything. You will not take anything away from me as a project manager. You know, when somebody does something good, show appreciation. You look at when there's this lady that I always notice that she always come in first. I always come on time. And when I came into that, I tried to ask a question, who came in first? And as a matter of fact, she managed to be the person that logged in first. So she'll be doing that. I'm not going to say because after all, she's the one benefiting from it. I need to inspire her to do more and even inspire others to do more. And that's why I'm going to give her a recharge card of 2,000 naira. Is a way of motivating their team. You know, you must motivate them, make them happy, appreciate the good work they are doing. It's very, very important. You know, the other time someone answered my question and I gave the person 2,000 naira, you know, to buy a recharge card. That is a way of appreciating people, making them feel that, yeah, their contribution is very good. But when you do not motivate people, their morale will be down. This is a way of you know, increasing their team members' morale, you know. And when somebody does something wrong, then you must show the person that what they are doing is wrong. Like when I tell you, put yourself on mute because it's disturbing the class, I will make sure that you are being you feel the pain, penalized, so you know that what you are doing is not good. But when somebody is doing something good, praise the person, appreciate the person. Is important. Then change management. Manage resistance to change by empathizing with stakeholders' concern and fear, communicating transparently and involving them in decision making process to build a buy-in and a commitment. When stakeholders are trying to make a change, even in an ongoing project, even if it's not captured originally, we've spoken about this, it's very, very important. Make sure you please, your voice, your noise is affecting the class. So make sure make sure you show empathy with stakeholders when they are trying to bring change. Try to understand their reasons. Don't just say this is not contained in my list of requests. It's out of my scope. If in the project charter, this is not part of. So you must listen to them first. Try to know why they are looking for a change, bringing a change in an ongoing project, and find a way to talk about it. You know, we have a best practice for handling changes. We capture the change, set a board to review the needed change, evaluate the change, the impact, and talk about it openly with the stakeholder. If it's approved with the right budget and every other things involved, then implement the change. Negotiation. Use emotional intelligence skills such as empathy, persuasion, and rapport building to negotiate effectively with stakeholders, team members, and other project stakeholders. Find a win-win solution that satisfies everyone's need and interest. It's very, very easy to find a win-win situation where everybody will be happy. Each other, some people do not want to, you know, go extra mile. But as a project manager, you are someone that if you are a leader, you must always go an extra mile to find a solution that will give a win-win to everybody. Conclusively, emotional intelligence, critical skill in project management, enabling project managers to understand and manage their own emotion and those of others effectively. By cultivating emotional intelligence, project managers can build positive relationships, navigate conflict, and inspire trust, collaborating among team members and stakeholders, contributing to overall project success. So we've seen how we can use emotional intelligence to take our project to the next level. Okay, then conflict resolution. You must find a way to, you know, resolve a conflict as a project manager. It's very, very important. Conflict must come. When people from different backgrounds, in this our project, we have people from, this class is a project, you know, so we're working on something together, all of us. So, and you have people from from Lagos. We've had people from Oyo, Ekiti. These are core Yoruba land, Ekiti, you know, like you have people from Kano. These are core northern, like Hausa and Fulani areas. Then we have people from Igbo land and south, Do rivers. So people are coming from different backgrounds. The background comes with a lot of diversity. People like this, a diversified project. So with this kind of diversified project, of course, you know that people will have conflict. People will not disagree. You know, people cannot see things the same thing. People were taught, raised up differently. So, and you know, you are going to see more of a complex project like this when you are growing as a project manager. You are growing from state to become a national project manager. All of a sudden now you become an international project manager. You got a project management contract in Dubai, working from Nigeria. You have team from India. You have some from UK, Ireland, America, Nigeria. So these are different background, different orientation. So you must find a way. Conflict must come, but how do you resolve the conflict? So conflict resolution is the process of addressing conflicts or disputes constructively, finding mutual beneficial solution that satisfy the need and interest of all parties involved. Effective conflict resolution skill is essential for project managers to manage conflict, maintain team morale, and ensure project success. So here, what I want you to look at here is satisfy the interests of all parties. It's very difficult, you know. Satisfying the interests of all parties is not as easy as this statement that you just see it. Satisfy the needs and interests of all parties. It's difficult. But as a project manager, this is what you are faced with. You're a project manager. You are not just there to be planning using Project Labor or Microsoft projects to plan projects. These are some of the things that might not come in Project Labor or Microsoft project or Basecamp. So these are key skills you need to, other things you need to do. But people might not see it. It might not be quantified. But these are important situations. So let's look at key aspects of conflict resolution. Number one is identifying the identification. You must recognize that there is a conflict, because some project manager will see some conflict and throw their eyes away. These people should sort themselves out. You know, recognize and acknowledge conflict or disagreement among team members, stakeholders, or other project stakeholders, and understand the underlying causes and their dynamics. You cannot throw your eyes away when there is a conflict. As a project manager, you must find the root cause and make sure that it doesn't happen again. You must solve it. But the first one is understanding, acknowledging there is a conflict. You know, conflict is a risk, you know, so you can capture it as a risk. You know, when you are doing risk management, capture it as a risk, because a risk is something, if it's not properly managed, you can see some people resigning. You know, I don't want to work again. Carry a job. After all, I'm a business analyst, or after all, I'm a developer. I'm not looking for a job. I easily get another job. You cannot bully me here. And they can get another job because they are good. So if two people just all of a sudden quit your project, you might be able to get other people. How are you sure that it's going to take like 2 months to do the advertisement, conduct interview, and get another person to join the team? And you see how that can impact negatively on your project. It can even impact your timeline, even your budget, because 2 people quit because you don't know how to manage conflict as a project manager. It's your course. So you must know how to manage conflict, identify conflict, and manage it effectively. So number 2 is in conflict management is communicate, facilitate an open and transparent communication among parties involved in the conflict. Encourage active listening, empathy, and understanding of different perspectives. It's very, very important. I've spoken about this before. You must listen to everybody empathically and find a way of resolving the conflict. You must encourage active, and it's not just the communication here must be transparent. So when you are addressing issues, you must, as much as you are going to be diplomatic, you must address the issue openly so that people will not feel you are siding this or you are siding part A or part B. You must know how to talk to your team members as a leader. Collaboration. Promote collaborative problem-solving approach to address conflict, involving stakeholders in the process of seeking win-win solution that satisfy everybody's interest and need. So some conflicts, you have to invite some other influential stakeholders to handle it. If something you cannot handle alone, you can invite people, collaborate. We are looking for solutions. So when we are looking for solutions, you should be able to. So you see, they are just the way they are just disturbing our class. So you must have to apply negotiation as well after collaboration. Use negotiation techniques such as compromise, consensus building, and trade-off to find mutual acceptance solution to conflicts or disputes, balancing competing priority and the constraints. We talk about negotiation already, so you must know how to negotiate. So when we're talking about negotiations, I'm saying that it's a politics. Well, it's everything. Everything in our life will apply a bit of politics. Depends on what you call politics, but you must try to compromise. Such as compromise. Compromise is giving up and try to balance a situation to make sure that everybody is happy. So that is kind of compromising. Trading off, buying in, resolution. Then after identifying and communicating and collaborating and negotiating, the next thing is to find a resolution. Implement agreed upon solution or action to address the conflict effectively, monitoring progress and outcome to ensure follow through and accountability. So once you've applied all these aspects, then you must make sure that the conflict is effectively resolved. So let's look at practical application of conflict resolution. In a team conflict, address conflict or disagreement among team members promptly and constructively. You must do that promptly. Promptly means on time. Don't wait tomorrow, or it can degenerate into something. So address team promptly and constructively, facilitating dialogue and collaboration to identify the underlying issues and find mutual acceptance solution. That's how you manage conflict within team members. You must tackle it immediately. Even if you don't finish it immediately, the team members will know that a resolution process is on ground. But for you to say, I will do it tomorrow, no, it must be promptly, or it must be on time. Conflict is a risk and must address promptly. Then conflict among stakeholders. Manage conflict or dispute with stakeholders by understanding their concern and interests, communicating transparently, and finding win-win solution that aligns with the project objective and expectations. When the project team is trying to deliver something different from what the stakeholders want, or what is their interest, or their what is captured, like at the beginning, you need to understand stakeholders' expectations. That is the reason why we have to do stakeholder management, stakeholder analysis. You must understand the expectation. That's why business analysts need to do a thorough requirement gathering. You must make sure that the business analysts, they are doing their job very well, capture quality requirements. They must ask stakeholders thorough questions to understand. You must make sure that the business analysts, they understand it, because when the business analyst is capturing wrong requirement or wrong expectation, the stakeholders will not be happy. And you are accountable. You are the project manager. So he is going to fall back on your head as a project manager, being accountable. If anything goes wrong, whether a team member is doing the wrong thing, you are the project manager. So when a business analyst captures requirement, you as a project manager, don't say the way requirement capturing and analysis. You as a project manager must on your own validate the requirement by asking the stakeholders, are you people happy with this? Yes, when the stakeholders say yes, we are happy with this requirement captured by the business analyst, that is the way you are going to be doing it. So, but when there is a conflict, maybe because of poor requirement gathering or doing things that are not supposed, you must find a win-win approach by communicating transparently. Transparency is key in project management, where there is nothing hidden. Everybody see what is going on. Some people are not feeling that I'm a stakeholder and I'm not being carried along. Everybody must be carried along. When you manage project very well, give where the stakeholders need to have access to be getting information, even if they are not contributing. Like when we are using some of these, let me show you this Basecamp. You see here in this Basecamp, you can add some stakeholders here. They are not contributing stakeholders, but they are here. They are seeing everything you are doing, but they are not contributing. So this is another way they have access to what you are doing. Nothing is coming to them by surprise. That doesn't mean you are not going to be submitting your report, but here they have, they are getting information. So it's a way of making sure that everybody is on the same page. Resource allocation. Resource allocation conflict. Resolve conflict or competition for resources such as budget, personnel, or equipment by prioritizing need, exploring alternative solutions, and negotiating trade-off or compromise. In a project, everybody will be competing for resources. Everybody will feel that their own task is more important. You might see the designers, they might be looking for, like, trying to assign more resources or more, materials. Everybody will looking for a way to get more attention, more favor. All these are resources. So you must make sure that you know how to equitably distribute your resources. You must have a critical evaluation of how resources can be properly allocated. Then we have schedule conflicts. Address conflict or delays in project schedule by identifying critical path tasks, dependencies, and constraints, and reallocating resources or adjusting plans as needed to minimize impact on the project timeline. Schedule conflict is one thing that is very, very important. You see, team members will just one day tell you that I'm going on vacation with my family. I would need to spend 2 days with my family in Spain. It's our summer holiday. And this is the only person you have that can do that role or in your project. And if the person leaves for 2 days, it's going to impact on your project. More especially if the task, the project, the team member is handling have so many dependencies. So you must find the critical path areas that cannot be delayed. So some of those critical path areas, identify the key personnel or team members working on those critical path areas. You must understand their itineraries. You must understand when they are going on holiday. Right from when the project, you must ask them, is there anybody going on holiday? When are you going on holiday? Everybody must state when they are going on holiday, when they are not going to be available, when they are having their leave, annual leave. You must find it and identify them and make sure you have a solution for all those areas. If a team member said, I'm going on holiday with my family, then you must make alternative arrangement for a cover before the person leaves ahead of time. So these are some of the things. That's why at times you see in a team, in some project, they start looking for a business analyst that will just work for 2 months or 1 month. In such areas, they will pay high. They will pay you high money because they want to cover such. They don't want, such areas to be left loose. So in a situation like that, there must be a cover because you don't want delays in your project. Then another conflict area is cultural conflict. What do we mean by cultural conflict? We've said something about culture from people from different orientation, diversity. Most projects here is highly diversified, culturally diversified. So you must make sure that you can, manage a diversified project where people come from different backgrounds, where people who have some people are religion, are Muslim, have people are Christian, we have people are Buddhist, people are traditional religion. things like that, you must try to understand all those cultural areas. Some people will be going for holiday. Try to understand and respect their culture, their religion. It's very, very important. You know, when some people, it's their time to go for like Christmas, Eid al-Fitr, so like we have Christian festivals, we have Muslim festivals and things. So you must try to understand when everybody. So if a team member needs to go, you can't say no. You are not going on it because of this project. Respect everybody. When it's time for the Muslim people to go for their festival, let them go. Allow them, because they are. When some people for Christian, allow them. Some people dress Muslim people, they cover their distance. That is their religion. You cannot say no. You cannot come to this project dressing this way. You don't do that. And when you as a project manager, you need to have a team lunch or breakfast with the team. You know, people from different areas. Some people don't eat chicken. Some people don't eat pork. Some people don't. You must make sure you find a restaurant that everybody is comfortable eating. It's quite important. So, managing conflicts arising from cultural differences or misunderstanding among team members or stakeholders by promoting cultural awareness. By doing all these things I've just listed is cultural awareness. You are aware that some people do not eat pork. You are aware that some people do not eat chicken. You are aware that some people do not eat beef. You are aware that some people have religious festivals. So you must be aware of all these things, and then be sensitive, inclusive, include everybody, fostering mutual respect and understanding. When you manage situations like this, you are a top-notch project manager. So, in conclusion, conflict resolution is a critical skill in project management. Enabling project manager to address conflicts or dispute constructively and finding mutual acceptance solution that satisfy the needs and interests of all parties involved. By cultivating conflict resolution skills, project managers can maintain team harmony, foster collaboration, and ensure project success in changing and dynamic environment where we are now. We're in a changing and dynamic environment, because now project is all about remote working. You all of a sudden, you find yourself working with a Japanese. My first 3 years ago, when I finished training, the first project manager, the little girl that got a job as a project manager after the training, the job was in Japan. She got a job in Japan as a project manager from nowhere to start working with Japanese people. And she was getting paid $40 an hour. You know, that's a lot of money for a 17-year-old girl, you know. And she did that job exceptionally very well. She did very well. Then she was still a second-year student in the university. And then that was when Nigerians, the lecturers were on strike. So she committed everything, her body and soul, in that our training. And immediately we finished training, she just hammered that job. And that was quite amazing. But the point I'm making here is that dynamic environment. You've never been a project manager in Uyo, where she was living. You've never been a project manager in Nigeria, in Africa. All of a sudden, you find yourself a project manager in Japan, where people you are managing are far older than you. So it's not a joke, you know. So let's come down to stakeholder management. We'll be talking about stakeholder management. So I will not, all of us should know how to manage stakeholders, you know, because we've spoken about stakeholder analysis, do stakeholder this, stakeholder that. So stakeholder management is the process of identifying and engaging and building positive relationship with stakeholders who have vested interest in the project success. Effective stakeholder management is essential for project managers to understand stakeholders' need, expectation, concern, and ensure alignment with project objective and outcome. What are the key aspects of stakeholder management? Identification. Identify all the stakeholders who have interest in the project, including internal and external stakeholders, customers, sponsors, and other project stakeholders. We've talked about, we discussed these things several times. So these are things, both internal and external, and customers and sponsors. You must identify them during your stakeholder analysis. We'll have a document for that. You guys have already got the document, the template. So you do the analysis. I've already taught you people how to do stakeholder analysis. Analyze stakeholders' need, expectations, and concern, and assess their influence. I've already done about power influence. No, their influence, power, and impact on the project's success to prioritize engagement and communication effort. Engagement. Engage stakeholders proactively and regularly. We've done that already, how to engage stakeholders. You must understand them and know periodically. Some stakeholders, you know how to engage them periodically. Approach of engaging them, is it by email? Some of you know that you only engage me through WhatsApp. You know, if you send an email, I might not even have time, well, as long as this project is concerned. So, but once you send me a WhatsApp, I will respond to you. But don't go and start bugging my this thing with WhatsApp because I know when you are, some of you, I will regard your this thing as spam. So don't spam my WhatsApp DM, because you know that that is my method of communication. So engage stakeholders proactively, regularly, through the project life cycle, keeping them informed, soliciting feedback, and addressing their concern and expectations. Communication. Establish clear communication and transparent channel with stakeholders, providing regular updates, can be weekly, depending on what you agreed on. Regular updates on project progress, milestone, you must communicate milestone and outcome, and soliciting input and feedback to ensure alignment and buy-in. Like I said, communication is a two-way traffic, not a one-way. So you must expect a feedback when you send their report. And you must always look for their buy-in. That buy-in is support. You always look for their support. Then alignment. Ensure alignment between stakeholders' need and project objective. Outcome. Manage expectation and addressing conflicts and discrepancies proactively and effectively. When there is discrepancies, conflict, you must address it precisely. Relationship building. You must build relationship, positive relationship with your stakeholders. Build and maintain positive relationship with stakeholders through active listening, empathy, trust building, and responsiveness, fostering a collaborative and supportive project environment. Then conflict resolution, address conflicts or disagreement with stakeholders promptly and constructively, facilitating dialogue and negotiation to find mutual acceptable solution to satisfy everybody's need and interest. Then what are the practical application of this? You have to apply stakeholder management or communicate through stakeholder analysis. Conduct with all of us. If you don't know how to conduct stakeholder analysis at this point, I will suggest you leave this course at this moment. Because we've done that, we've talked about that, you have the document. So by now, I feel everybody should know how to conduct a basic stakeholder analysis. So conduct stakeholder analysis to identify key stakeholders, assess their interests, concern, and influence, and develop tailored engagement strategy and communication plan. That is what I taught you people already during the stakeholder management techniques. Then engage stakeholders, stakeholder engagement plan. Develop a stakeholder engagement plan that outlines how stakeholders will be engaged throughout the project. Key. We've done that already. How stakeholders will be engaged throughout the project life cycle, including communication channel, frequency, and key messages. We've done that already. Stakeholder communication communicates project updates, progress, outcome to stakeholders regularly and transparently. Use appropriate communication channels and format. You must use the format, not your own. Like some of you during this last meeting, which I'll still need to address, I've told you people the way I want to be communicated. I said after this, send your deliverables. You have to post your deliverables in the team, in the WhatsApp group. Some people are now sending me link to their whatever Google Drive. Is that what I said? As your stakeholder, I specifically gave you instruction. This is what I want. So in that aspect, so many of you fail woefully. So you must follow the format. This is very, very important. Don't do what you think is the best. If there is a format, follow the format. It's important. Listen very well. Some of you do not listen. Some of you don't know how to follow instruction. You don't know how to read instruction. It's very, very important. So, stakeholder feedback. Solicit for feedback and input from stakeholders regularly, seeking their perspective, concern, and suggestion to inform project decision and improve outcome. Seek feedback. Communicate regularly. Some of you will communicate like last night once Juliet brought the issue of those that didn't enroll very well. Number one, I've said, what we are doing here is this lecture is a serious project. I've communicated. When I finish lecture, ask me a question that is related to the topic. But it amazes me. Some people will, after saying, they will just insist on what. That is why so many of you are not going to get a job after this. And that's why so many of you, after getting a job, they will lose the job. They will say that it's village people. You know? So, after then, you just brought different topic. We have even finished this discussion. I've responded to this. So you must, these are how some of you are looking for stakeholders problem. You know, it's quite important. Understand stakeholders very well. Understand how to communicate with them. Know what they want. Give them. Some of you will be looking for stakeholders problem, and then they will say that I have difficult stakeholders. Build stakeholder relationship building. Build and maintain positive relationship with stakeholders throughout the proactive engagement, responsiveness, and trust building efforts. Demonstrate reliability, integrity, and respect. It's very important to build a positive relationship with your stakeholders. Understand them very well, so that with that trust, and you become, more like, they will trust you more and have more respect for you. So stakeholder conflict resolution. Address conflict or disagreement with stakeholders promptly and constructively, facilitating dialogue, negotiation, and compromise to find mutual acceptance solution that preserve relationship and project success. So, in the conclusion, stakeholder management is critical skill in project management, enabling stakeholder to manage enabling project managers to build positive relationship, manage expectation, and ensure project success by engaging stakeholders effectively throughout the project life cycle. So now we've seen all the various soft skills. This soft skill is as important as all the technical skills, because all of them goes hand in hand. So you see, we are doing stakeholder analysis, we use document, we use tool to do analysis, but still, you see, as in soft skill, you should know how to apply stakeholder management very well. So trying to understand this soft skill will make you even a better project manager than mastering the technical skills. It's very, very important, because that is you. As a project manager, you need to be influential, and these soft skills, these are things that will make you to be very influential. So this is where we're ending for tonight. And yeah, so we finished the topic soft skill in project management. So next we'll be looking at project management methodology. So we'll be looking at different methodologies like agile project management, waterfall, and others. So to understand it very well. And then with this, we should be concluding our module in project management. So let's have a little interaction before I join my next class.
Thank you so much, sir.
All right, you're welcome. So, we'll have to just respond to some questions before the time elapses. So we have Agatha raising her hand.
Good evening, sir. thank you so much for today's class. Thank you for making our time to take us. I really appreciate. Can you hear me, sir?
Yeah, I can
Yeah,
hear
we can
you.
hear you.
Okay. So on the when you were teaching, I have a question. Like, what if a team member already you've asked your team members who's going to be on holiday and all that, but an emergency erupts and a team member that is handling a critical part had to be away for, like, let's say about a week or two. As a project manager, how do you make up for that lapse so that it won't affect the project
That's why you
timeline?
have to
And even
change
if it
it.
affects, it will be in a, it won't have so much effect on the project timeline. How do you make
In
up
a
for that?
situation where we have emergency is emergency, and in a situation like that, maybe a team member will have to then, because we find out that in this project management, most of the team members will have a different skill or similar skill. Like now you see a project manager and a business analyst, they share different skills. So some people have to carry other people's workload. Some people will be even, it begs some people to work or even work overtime, find a way to pay them for working overtime to cover up. If it's going to be difficult to go hire a cover, emergency is emergency. Somebody can lose their mom or their dad or things like that. It happens. So in a situation like that, you always find a way within the team. They can find cover and cover their somebody who is in such a situation. In some of these things, you use their number six. You use that's why you need to a project manager need to be well experienced.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much.
Yeah. So promise.
Good evening, sir. And
Okay.
good evening, everyone. Thank you very much, sir, for the class today. So my question is concerning the topic we had today about soft skills. I actually have a friend I spoke up to about me learning project management. So he was like, why am I do I want to be people's enemy? They have a project manager in their office and she's their enemy. Because so I was like, why? He said because she's always on their neck, pressing them to deliver their tasks and all of those things. So in a situation like that, where your team members see you as an enemy because you're always asking them for their deliverables, how do we go about that?
Yeah, you need to, because they are not project managers, and if in a situation like that, you need to sensitize them about the duty of a project manager. Even if a brief workshop, you need to have brief workshop with your team, enlighten them more about what project management is all about. It means those people, they don't have any clue about what project management is all about. They just bring you as a project manager, put you in the midst of a laymen who do not understand project manager. But if you understand project management, you should know that we have timeline. You should know that project manager's responsibility is for you to monitor you and make sure you do your job. If the project manager has done carry the team along and with the team do what we call racing metrics. Some of them do not know what racing metrics, some of them do not know their job. If it means the project manager is not doing a good job because you would have carried them along while doing racing metrics, let them understand their roles and responsibilities. If they understand their roles and responsibilities and that a project manager is accountable is what is accountability? Making sure that you do your job. So somebody who is accountable in making sure you do your job, it becomes your enemy because he asks you to do your job and you know the principles of project management, then so be it. You know, But if they don't know, it's your duty as the project manager to enlighten them. You can find yourself in a midst where the stakeholders, I had a director in my company, but when we had a meeting, I found out that she doesn't even know what Scrum Master is all about. But she's a director in that company. You know, she must have risen to the post of a director through not managing a project. He might have had the highest share in the company. She must have inherited the company. So, but she doesn't know what Scrum Master is. So some people do not understand this. So it's your duty, even if they are stakeholders or team members, if you find out that you find yourself in midst of people that don't understand project management principles, then it's your duty to teach them. You know, have regular workshop. As a project manager, you should be having workshops. Just like in agile project management, it's the duty of the Scrum Master, which is agile project manager, to coach. You don't coach only the team members, you coach the whole organization about agile project management. But we are coming to that.
All right, thank you, sir.
Yeah. So, Obinna John.
Good evening, Mr. Charles, and the group. My question is this: in a situation whereby you find yourself in a project, you have to manage a project that you've never had experience in, like a road construction or perhaps house building. How do you go about that?
You don't need the experience in any domain to manage projects. As a good project manager, you can find yourself in cybersecurity. You just manage it. You don't need experience. Project management is an application. You apply it in every environment. Like now, I might never been a cook, and I find myself to prepare a dish. All I need to do is look for requirements to cook that food, break them down into structures, break down structures. So what are you saying? You don't have experience? You don't have experience to do a project breakdown structure? Then it means you never are a project manager. You know, you have experience to do a project breakdown structure. You have experience to manage stakeholders. How do you mean you don't have experience to call the stakeholders of the building construction and find out what they want? And they get the building, the design. You call the building engineer. In this case, the building engineer is supposed to be the business analyst to do the drawing. You see the drawing, you get the requirements. So you have experience. You apply. Project management is something it doesn't have any industry or domain. It can be applied anywhere. Even in refuse dustbin carrying is a project. What is in farming is a project. You know, if you have a piece of land to cultivate in that piece of land, you should ask whoever is contracting you to do what kind of plant do they want to cultivate. From there, you're capturing requirements, you know. So you don't need any experience in the construction industry for you to manage project effectively. The experience you need is to understand all these principles we are doing here. If you understand everything we are doing here, you can manage the most complex project. You've never, like I said, a young girl who have never been to Japan, but she managed the project effectively, you know, not just a project, but a software. She never managed the software project, but she managed the software, revamp a complex website in Japan. And she never had any experience in software building or something. It's only the one we had. I trained them on, but she managed to manage a complex project in environments you've never been there, self. So, as a good project manager, don't expect that because you have been working in there, you start. No, don't limit yourself. You are an all-rounder. Every industry, whether telecommunication, banking, local government, without local government, state government, Prasta, anywhere they say there is work, you are qualified. As long as it's project management, you are qualified to work anywhere, in hospital, everywhere. You are an all-rounder. So, Chinoye.
Good evening, sir. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Please, sir, assuming one is handling a project, and in that project, you have two people who are kind of key in that project. One is you got the person from operations, but then in the project that you're handling, the person is someone that is very detail-oriented and cautious. While the second person is this kind of big picture thinker, like very innovative. But then these two people are two strong characters, like they don't agree with themselves somehow. And you're just kind of new in the organization. So it's almost like they're always speaking above, your head in the project. And both of them are strong characters. One, you are trying to ensure that these two people, you don't lose them. And again, you are trying to ensure that the team does not start losing respect, and also the team is also very cohesive. How do you navigate this, kind of experience?
Well, in as much as you try to very diplomatic, you should know your position as a project manager. You should be influential. You should know the project details as well. You should be able to communicate them, the project details, requirements. So they don't need to, whether they are cohesive or whether they are, it's good to recognize their temperaments and try to manage it. But in such people, then you have to make sure that everything that is on the book, follow the book. If they don't want to be friends with you or friends with another person, you try to be friendly with them, and they don't, then follow the book. You know what is in the project charter. If there is a project charter, you know what the requirement captured, then follow the requirement. Whether somebody is so detailed, it doesn't concern you as long as you are doing the right thing. You're following the requirement captured from them. If they are the stakeholders or they are the sponsors, there is requirements there. There is timeline. There is acceptance criteria for everything. So they don't need to, and you keep them away from your team, buffer your team. So you talk with them. So when there is need for report, you represent the report. As long as every deliverable is within the acceptance criteria or standard, you don't have any problem with them. We have a lot of people there that always try to. That's why you need to understand requirement as well. There should be, every requirement must have acceptance criteria, a standard for measurement. So once you are making sure that every deliverable is up to the standard and you are not missing the timeline, you don't have any problem with anybody. If they are trying to make problem with you, then they are just making problem for nothing. And you have to be firm. You don't have to be shaking, So you respect them, but you need to be firm with your decision making. In as much as you need to buy them in, but you still need to be firm. You need to be respected. So don't go and start siding anybody or or trying to leak anybody's ass or thing. You have to make sure you respect yourself as well. Because it's you that will disrespect yourself. When you start disrespecting yourself, everybody will start disrespecting you. You have to respect others, but respect yourself. So I think with this, we've captured enough for tonight. So, and yeah, we still have today is Friday. We still have time, so you can still go to Bob Night Club. You want to go? So don't say that I've taken away a weekend. So thank you, everyone, for joining. And
Thank you, Mr.